What's up, guys? Thanks so much for checking out the channel again. Today we're starting off a new trilogy in our scenario review series. We are starting with Sparta as we move right along. And again, this will be a trilogy of videos here as we take a look at their three scenarios. So we're going to start with Irresistible Force in this video. Then we're going to look at Never Retreat, Never Surrender, and then Breakthrough as the last one. So this first scenario, again, Irresistible Force. Let's jump right in for the Spartans here. So both players have the same denarii as normal. Enemy players the defender, and here the Spartans will be attacking. Setup-wise, looks fairly balanced. Let's check it out. So both players place 3 pieces of terrain on the table as shown on the map. One in each one each on the edge of the deployment zones and one in the middle of the table. The defending player deploys all their models first, followed by the Spartan player, and then the Spartans get to go first. Now, we've said that before, and it's interesting, not a lot of their scenarios that we've seen use the terrain placement thing, but it's pretty cool to see, and I wish they would follow that a little bit more, just because it gives some more structure and kind of keeps it balanced too. Some of these scenarios gotta kind of fill in the blanks a little bit as to what would make it balanced just with the rules of the scenario. But here we get a interesting breakdown. Again, we've talked about it so many times. You know, when you get to see the enemy deploy first, that gives you all kinds of great information. And with as strong as the Spartans are, you know, it's not a diverse army. Again, check out our review that we did a while back on how to play the Spartans, basically. But you know, the enemy's giving you all that information. You know, the Spartans are very good at basically, you know, they don't have cavalry. Their skirmisher type units aren't really all that great, but what they will do is just punch you in the face with their basically superlative hoplites that they have, and heroes, of course. That being said, you're probably going to be outnumbered as when you're playing the Spartans as a result of that, depending on how many of your other weaker units you do decide to take. That being said, you get to see the enemy do their thing and set up, and then you get set up in return to maximize your advantage there, and you're also going to get to go first. So, and then that being said, of course, if you can win initiative on the second turn, you can potentially get very close to engaging in combat depending on what's going on. So anytime that happens, that's a great thing. So you just got to make sure you take advantage of what the mission's doing first and foremost, but then also capitalizing on the enemy's mistakes there. So special rules is basically once a unit is placed in contact with one of the 3 terrain pieces mentioned above, it has captured it for the warband. It will remain in the warband's possession until an enemy unit moves into contact with it, in which case basically possession flips. Let's see, possession of the, hang on a second, guys. I think there is a issue with, oh no, how about that? It just kind of runs off. So there's a bit missing there. I hadn't even noticed that before. So that's unfortunate. But we can imagine that it basically says possession flips there. And then looks like they kind of forgot here to basically separate the special rules and then the victory conditions. So sort of double typo here on Warlord's part. But anyway, victory will go to the warband that can capture at least 2 of the terrain pieces and hold them for at least 1 full turn. So, and again, with both players placing 3, you know, it wouldn't necessarily be that difficult. And hold them for at least 1 turn. Any other result is a draw. However, if a warband can capture all 3 terrain pieces and hold them for at least 1 full turn, then it will receive double the normal denarii awarded for this battle. So it's a little bit more of a campaign-specific mission, but with some small tweaks, it would certainly work in a tournament setting as well. The issue here, though, is that where it says both players place 3 pieces of terrain, and here it's kind of just assuming that there's 3 pieces total. So there's definitely some miscommunication between the setup and the special rules / victory conditions here. Sort of compounded more by the fact that the special rules part doesn't seem to be fully written. I'm not sure where the text actually went for that. But basically, you know, if a warband can capture 3, you know, it's not just a win, it's basically a special win in that sense. So it is interesting to see different tiers of wins. And again, that makes it really fun for campaign purposes. That being said, you know, considering, let's see here, 1 each for the terrain again, 1 each on the edge of the deployment zones, and then 1 in the middle of the table. So that being said, it's that definitely needs some tweaking, just because your deployment zone, right? So basically, you can deploy touching the terrain. So you're going to basically, if you want to, start with holding 2 terrain pieces. And the fact that both can do that is, without having to engage each other, kind of precludes a victory here, a clear victory. Any other result is a draw. So there's definitely some issues with the way that is worded. Basically, it should probably be, tweaked here to basically represent maybe holding more than the enemy for a turn. And you shouldn't just have to hold any of them, because you can basically sit back and hold yours, which doesn't seem very Spartan-like, I guess, call me crazy there. But so yeah, there's definitely some issues here. That's really disappointing. I feel like I've looked at the scenario several times before, and I guess just never paid that much attention to this error here. But yeah, again, it should you should certainly be given a reason to get out of your deployment zone. So this one definitely needs some heavy rewriting, I would say. It should probably be that you have to hold at least one or both in the center to win. And then if you can also hold at least one of the ones in the opposing deployment zone, that's what would give you the double points. I think that would be an easier fix for the scenario. But yeah, you shouldn't basically be allowed to sit back and be sort of cheesy and just hang out in your deployment zone, because again, it's specifying that you as long as you do that, you can, let's see, yeah, victory will go to the warband that can capture at least 2 of the terrain pieces. And hold them for at least a full turn. Any other result is a draw. But again, if you both start in possession of your own, let's see, let me read it again. Maybe I'm missing something. Once a unit is placed in contact with one of the 3 pieces mentioned above, is captured it for the warband. I guess maybe they're just saying that the ones that the opponent places are flipped to their side as far as possession goes, and the ones that you place are automatically yours. But again, I just feel like instantly you're going to deploy something and flip the one that your opponent put, if that makes sense. So again, it's just, this is still a little bit wonky. I certainly wouldn't play this as is. This definitely needs a little bit of rewriting. But let us know, guys. It's an interesting idea, and I like that sort of area or terrain control type of scenario, certainly. But definitely there's some issues going on here with this one. But let us know in the comments if you've played this one for the Spartans. It's kind of a inauspicious start here with actual errors or issues in this scenario. But let us know in the comments, guys, what you think, what you've experienced. If you've played this one, how's it gone for the Spartans? Have you made any modifications? I'm assuming everybody else has noticed issues with it too. What would you do to fix it? Again, we just made a suggestion here, but let us know what you think in the comments, guys. And if you feel like this seems fairly well balanced, honestly, aside from the fact that the Spartans are going first too. But then again, overall they're a slower army because of all that heavy armor, so it should probably balance out. That being said, if they're facing like a fast cavalry army, they might be able to sort of get ahead of you on that. But again, this definitely needs some tweaking, I would say, overall. And now that I'm looking at the map here too, it's basically saying, or it seems to suggest putting the terrain pieces like that all in the center line, which kind of makes it goofy too, because again, both players place 3 pieces. Maybe it's 3 pieces total and you alternate. I don't know. This is just, there's a lot of like, not just typos, but just like, I don't know if people were like stuck between 2 different ideas for the scenario and just forgot to like actually hash it out. But so just depending on what was actually the actual intended purpose, there could be many different ways of interpreting that. But let us know in the comments, guys, what would you do to fix this one? And we might just type up some of our own rules or variations on it and actually fix it. But anyway, let us know. Thanks so much for checking us out again, guys, and we'll be back with more when we take a look at the other 2 Spartan scenarios. Hope you guys have a good one.